この戦闘中域に奴はいなかった。お前だな。
So after waiting about 1,000 years for this episode to get subbed, it finally did. One of the things I found really enjoyable about this episode was the fact that they allowed the viewers to see the good side of Io Flemming. For example, when the child soldiers arrived in the gun cannons, he was pretty much like, why would they possibly send kids over? Really? I mean, they're just kids. Compared to him saying something like, oh, they're just soldiers, they signed up for this, let them be, I don't care about them. So it was good to see things like this, you know? Another thing that I kind of didn't really like to see, but it was good to see at the same time, was how the child soldiers actually went into battle. I'm pretty sure all they got was VR training. They didn't really have much experience in real combat, and they died by literally just one guy. Like, you remember that one scene with the Zaku literally just firing from a long distance at the gun cannons, and then the children were like, where's the fire coming from? Just remember your practice and things like that. And he took out a lot of the kids, and once the kids saw him, the guy just pretty much died. And then the guy in the Dom arrived and just sliced up a bunch of them. And honestly, it was really sad to see all these kids die, and you know, they were probably around the age of 13 or possibly less. It really was kind of disappointing to see that all these kids just went into combat and died, but you know, it really is also good to see because it really does allow the viewers to be more informed about what type of war that they're really in. We also get to see Io be a bit more soft when he confronts Claudia injecting herself, and he is just so concerned for her. And then we also get to see the scene where him and his buddy and her are also, you know, doing this little playing contest when they were little. And also helps build up the idea that Io isn't such a bad guy after all. And this is what I was talking about in recent reviews, where I was like, I really wish they would just, you know, make an episode dedicated towards Io being shown, or at least showing his good side, you know, and they finally did it in this episode, so that pretty much satisfies me. And at this point, I really do have a bit of, you know, concern for Io too, because in episode 4, I believe, and this is where I was kind of disappointed, is when, you know, Daryl and Io have their, you know, final clashing, I believe. And something that I didn't like, and this goes back to where I was disappointed, is that it just ends with them fighting, and in episode 2 it shows him launching and shows him pissed off. I was assuming that they would fight in episode 3, but they didn't really fight, so I guess they're just saving it for episode 4. And, you know, I totally understand it and all, but I was just like, man, I really wanted to see the full armor Gundam go against the Psycho Reuse P Zaku. So once again, I guess we will have to wait another month or possibly more for the sub version for Thunderbolt, because episode 4 is actually out, but it's not subbed. But if you're watching this and you know how to translate, please, for the love of God, translate this episode. That will be hella sick. Anyways, one thing that I didn't really find enjoyable about this episode, and not in a critical type of way, is the fact that Graham literally murdered Claudia, and Claudia was trying to help him up, you know, help him escape. And he was like, how could you think like this? You put us in this mess. Pulls out a pistol and just shoots her. I was just like, what the fuck, man? You show Claudia, you show us like the really sad side of Claudia, and then you just kill her off like that. Man, that really took a toll on me. It really did. Like, I was actually starting to care a little bit more about Claudia after seeing that scene where she injects herself, and they just kill her. I just, man, it sucks. It really does suck, man. But overall, this episode was really enjoyable to watch, as always. Of course, it's Gundam Thunderbolt. It's hard not to really like, honestly. And once again, if you're watching this and you know how to translate, please translate episode 4 for us, because that would be just fantastic. So the real question here is, who will actually win in the fight between Daryl and Io Flemming? And I'm sorry for all Io Flemming fans out there, but if I had to bet my money on somebody, it would most definitely be Daryl. Io, because I feel like he had to risk more compared to Io Flemming, and this all goes off based on what they've shown us in the anime. I don't know guys, maybe Io Flemming will be as savage as he usually is, take out his beam saber and just freaking jab it in Daryl's cockpit and murder him. I don't know, I can't predict the future, nor will I actually look at the manga to spoil myself for the true winner, if there actually is a true winner. And if you know the actual answer, please for the love of God do not spoil it for me or anybody else in the comments. But if you don't know the answer and you're willing to place a bet, just leave it down below in the comments. But anyways guys, how did you enjoy this episode? Just leave down your response in the comments below, and as always, thank you for watching and I'll see you guys later.